Hi, this is Dana, and I'd like to give you a tour of my garden today. This is my favorite flower garden that I have, and let's just start over here. I've got coneflower growing. I have a lot of coneflower, different colors. This is a garden variety. This does grow wild along the roadsides in Oklahoma, and it's also called echinacea. So if you take echinacea herbs, it comes from a cousin to this plant. Does not come from the garden variety. This is an iris that bloomed a beautiful peach color this year, and I ordered it from the Tulsa Iris Society, and I just had wonderful luck with their irises. So if you like iris, you should go to their shows and order some iris too. And this is Coral Bell, and it's been blooming for a couple of months, and it's looking a little faded right now, but I think it's called Lipstick Red. And this is a hosta, and then a different kind of hosta next to it. These are elephant ears. This is not the giant, well, actually I think this might be called giant, but there's one bigger that I think is called like mammoth sized or something like that. I don't know, but this gets a little bit bigger than it is right now. It kind of got a late start this year. Back behind it, that's a columbine, which is new to me this year, new to my garden, and I bought two of them, and one of them didn't survive, as you can see. So, this is Weigela. It has a fragrant white blossom on it. It's not a very showy blooming plant, but it does bloom. It's more of a shrub in the garden, and that's 3 plants right there, and they kind of need to be trimmed a little bit. I like to keep them a little tighter than they are right now. There's a stilby which is struggling. I think it gets too much sun right there. And also have Stella Doro daylilies. I just put these back here 2 years ago. I divided the ones that I had in my front yard, and they're so thick already, I'm thinking I may have to dig them up again this fall. I don't know. It's a lot of work to keep things the right size and not overgrown in the garden. Down below it, you'll see there's a little miniature salvia that has a little purple bloom on it. That's a miniature. It only grows about 6 inches tall. It's a nice little ground cover. I have this little drainage area that goes, the water diverts off of both sides of the garden into this drainage ditch and then out through the front yard. It's not really a walking path, but it's the way I get in and out of my garden. Here's some more coneflower. These have volunteered in the garden. They're not as vibrant in color, you'll see, and I let them go to seed, and they pop up here and there, and I just kind of let them. This variety is brighter in color. I love this color. I wish I had 5 more like that. Then this purple blooming plant is Monarda, and it is the key ingredient in Earl Grey tea, if you happen to drink Earl Grey tea. And it's very fragrant. The bees love it. Its common name is bee balm. And then behind it is a pyracantha bush, and the berries on that turn bright orange in the fall. It blooms white in the spring, and then from the blooms will form berries. It's really grown for its fall color more than its spring bloom. We're in the late afternoon sun, if you can't tell. This is a standard flag iris. It is yellow, and it can be grown directly in water. It's a great plant if you have a pond and you want to grow something that blooms in your pond. And then I have a little tiny ground cover back here, and it blooms a beautiful shade of blue in the spring, and I don't remember the name of that plant. We have some ornamental grasses along the edge of that drainage ditch. Kind of makes it look like a little river. And back in the corner I have a jasmine. I think it might be a Carolina jasmine. I'm not sure. Well, except I think those bloom yellow and this one blooms white. So I'm not sure which variety that is. I believe it vines, and if I had a trellis right there on the fence, it would grow up through. I need to get a trellis. My idea was that it would grow up through that window. And then this is a blue atlas cedar. It will eventually get really big for this space, and I'll have to trim the canopy up from the bottom, but for now it's fine. And some more coneflowers. And back on these trellises, I have clematis growing. This is a new one I planted this year. I haven't seen it bloom yet. And then this one looks kind of sorry back there right now, but it has a really pretty, just a pure white bloom on it. So I really like it. And that is a maidenhair grass. Looks a little more cultivated than the other grasses I have. I like it. It has gotten huge, and I'm tempted to just leave it there. It's so big I don't know how I would get it out to divide it. So this is a peony. And then this dead plant and the one next to it are the same thing. Those are dendrobium. I just planted those a few weeks ago. And I don't know why I already lost one. I can smell the Monarda because I've been brushing up against it, so it's kind of nice. That's a sedum. I put 2 of those in. I'm hoping they'll fill that bank in and help hold the mulch back. And I have a real problem with nutgrass in my garden, which I try to pull, but unfortunately sometimes I just have to spray it because it doesn't really go away very well by pulling. Here's another Monarda. This is a different variety. It looks a little bit more like a weed in the garden than the purple variety, but it's just so funky looking, and it looks kind of alien in the garden to me. I like it. Another iris right here was a gift from a friend of mine, and some pincushion flowers. Now there's another name for that, and I can't remember what it is, but maybe somebody will remind me. This is a carpet rose, which is really low maintenance rose, kind of like the knockout roses. It doesn't get as big as the knockout roses. This one did have a lot of fungus on it this spring just because we had an unusual, a very warm and wet spring, and so it got white powdery mildew really bad. And I just cut off the mildew covered branches, and I didn't even spray it, and it's come back really nice. So there's some more cone flowers, and then I have some standard nandina, and they are really invasive in the garden. I probably would never plant those in a perennial garden again. Kind of learn from our mistakes, but they do put on really nice berries in the fall and winter, and the birds really like the berries, so that's kind of nice. It does give you some winter color, but it is encroaching on my perennials, and I'm probably going to have to dig those up this spring. In the fall when it cools off, transplant those somewhere else. So anyway, that's a look at my backyard garden. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back and look at more of my videos again. Thanks.